Joining us now is Mr. Brent Fouch. He's the author of a book called Conscious Exploration for the Advanced Soul. He's an old friend of the program. Brent, welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having me, Don. Good to see you.
Well, first and foremost, congratulations on the new book.
Thanks. I appreciate that. I've been working on it for about a year and finally got published. So it's out there on Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, and it's nice to have my first book out there.
Well, now you've been very successful in the financial world as a stockbroker, as an investment banker, as a public company CEO where you and I met. But looking at your story, reading a little bit about the book, it wasn't enough for you. You were wondering what was really in store for you in life. Tell us about your story.
Yeah, I was running public companies. I invented the brain-computer interface technology that was able to control the world around you, computers with the thought of your mind, using EEG technology. I ended up selling that business eventually and then began focusing more on what I'd say my spiritual side of life and really digging into some things that I had touched upon growing up, such as remote viewing and just the overall ability of what are the human mind and brain is capable of and the spirit of the human mind. So really dug into a lot, went to different countries and did ayahuasca ceremonies with different shamans, went out to the Monroe Institute out in Virginia, studied under some renowned people that taught remote viewing as well as out-of-body exploration, astral projection. So I spent about 3 years of my life just every single day studying and absorbing everything I could in the genre. And the end of my adventures and experiences, I decided there was so much in front of me and in my journals that I just had to write a book about it.
Well, for those who don't know what remote viewing is, tell us about that, because that's fascinating, really.
Yeah, remote viewing is the act of being able to identify a target that is remote, essentially psychic spying. The U.S. government and the CIA for the U.S. had a full program called Stargate that they initiated way back in the 70s. And they would have psychic spies be able to essentially find, locate different things such as Russian submarines that were being built, and through their power of their mind, be able to draw pictures, give elaborate details regarding the targets they were asked to remote view. So there's a full program going on currently still with the US government, CIA, that still does this. And it's a fascinating subject. It's something where it's almost hard to believe, but I spent years doing it, and with incredible accuracy, if you do it correctly, you'll be able to pull information, draw detailed pictures of what the target is you're seeking. And this is all done with a double-blind type study where they're in an envelope sealed and no one has any information on the target. But remote viewing is currently being used, and it's a fascinating subject.
So you've done this.
Yes, yeah, I researched it on my own. I read about it, thought it was fascinating, began just doing it myself before I took any formal classes or education on the subject. Then I found out that the number one CIA agent that was in the Stargate program, a man by the name of Joe McMoneagle, he was teaching how to do this for certain people out in Virginia at the Monroe Institute. So I got selected to go out there, spent a week under his instruction, stayed out there, slept there, had numerous amount of training and sessions we would do. So I had the number one, he was Agent 001 for the Stargate program in the CIA, and it was invaluable education that I had through him, and got to see how it was done through the formal process, as well as what I did on my own, kind of combine the art or the skill of this. And I still do it today, though I have other things that I do more often, but it is a fascinating subject that is used today, like I said, still in the CIA.
Well, tell us about the journey that you take your readers through in your new book.
Yeah, so in my book, Conscious Exploration for the Advanced Soul, I talk about different ways to pierce the veil, if you will, over to the invisible side or the unseen world. Anything from using plant medicine such as ayahuasca that has been used for thousands of years. It's only been available to the Western world in the last really 15 years has become available. It used to only be used by shamans in the indigenous tribes of the Amazon, but one can now go there to either Costa Rica, Peru, Colombia, where it's prevalent and available. And it started with that, really, where I went for a week, did 4 of these ayahuasca ceremonies, and it's a brew made of 2 plants found in the Amazon. And by drinking this one shot of this Amazonian brew, or tea as they'll call it, it will put you into the spirit realm for about 4 hours. During that time, your eyes are closed, but you are traveling, you're getting taught lessons. There's a intelligent voice behind the whole process that's guiding you, revealing things to you in picture form, in lessons, emotional experience that you have during this 4-hour episode that you're going through. And that was really the catalyst that sparked me on my next 3 years of just digging into all these things that I studied and wrote about, because I saw for the first time that we are definitely much more than our physical bodies. We are multidimensional beings that have access to these non-physical realms. For the diligent that care to really explore this and learn it, there are pathways through plant medicines, natural methods such as out-of-body experiences that allow a human being, while still in bodily form, to be able to explore these non-physical realms.
Well, spiritual enlightened people I've spoken to use a term that they say we're spiritual beings having a human existence.
Having a temporary human existence, correct.
Now, ayahuasca, that should be really done only under the guidance of a shaman, correct?
It should. Definitely, you're going to go through a lot of, it's almost like a life review. It's a very emotional. People that have had trauma in the past use it for healing. And what they say, and it's true, it's like 10 years of therapy in 4-hour session. You will have changes in life that happen by doing this. You will be confronted with things that you need to learn about yourself, past issues you've had, they come to the surface, and you are dealing with a lot during that time. So to have the guidance of a shaman or a curandero, as they call it, someone that guides you during the ceremony, is highly recommended.
And all of this is discussed in your book?
This is discussed in my book, yes. And I went and did it for a number of times, 12 or 15 different ceremonies. I saw the benefits it had on other people. I eventually, after 3 years, took my wife, who was having some issues that needed resolved. I brought her out to Costa Rica. And the week out there changed her life. She became a vegetarian overnight from it. It was nothing she asked for. It just occurred. And other factors in her life that were causing problems just seemed to have been addressed. We were confronted and have gone away. And our relationship is better ever now than it's been.
The book title, again, is Conscious Exploration for the Advanced Soul. Brent, congratulations on the publishing of the book. Fascinating story. Thanks so much for joining us and telling us about it.
Yeah, thank you, Don. Thanks for having me.